Hey everyone, happy Sunday, the fun day. How is everyone doing on this 11th of this November 2025, rather rainy Sunday night? Excuse me, dying over here. I was, excuse me, I was, just Uh, taking my 15-minute nap after dinner, by my wife. Of course, I love her. And 4-day weekend is over. Are you alive? Did you make it through the turkey and all this booze and whatever else you did? Well, I assume and presume you all had a great Thanksgiving. Is one of those days. Some people say, "Oh yeah, you know what, man? I just don't like Thanksgiving because then I had to go to my family or whatever, family, friends, and there are some people who I don't like there, or maybe there are others who don't like you, right? But you got to let go of the past, man. Forgiveness, forgiveness, and forgetfulness. Are they mutually exclusive or inclusive? Am I making any fucking sense? I don't think so. However, me and my wife did end up on Long Island. Strong Island, man. Well, I had to tell them about the flat tire, yes, briefly. Without going into the too much details, you can hear in the background my wife, right? She doesn't want me to talk about all the whole hoopla that happened with the flat tire on my Jeep. All right, it's not fun to have a flat tire, when you go to fucking Thanksgiving. But I had to keep my fucking cool. All right, that's what it is. Well, we got lucky. It just completely became flat when we got there. After basically running through two gas stations like a maniac. eh. But the family who invited us, it was nice there. People showed up and all that. I don't want to talk about Thanksgiving too much, all right? Longest fucking drive, and we didn't do much actually. A long weekend. My wife, obviously. Again, I have to say thank you for your support and love and care and everything. Uh, for us, we appreciate it. My sister, my brother-in-law, my close friends, everyone. Uh, it was, and it will be until the end of March, cold, and it will be a long as fucking winter. All right. So we couldn't do anything on the outside. Or what are you making? Say. So, I did some cooking. My wife helped me. We made some biryani, chicken. Now I think she's making a dessert or something. But in any case, uh, I was trying to call my brother. He didn't pick up. He's in Montreal. What is Montreal? Isn't that like the party city? Did I talk about this before? I'm so sorry. But in any case, it's December, holiday time, you're going to be spending a lot of money on gifts, especially with a lot of family. I remember the experience, right? The experience of not like Christmas and, gifts and all that. Obviously, I was alone when I was here for the first Christmas was with my Canadian friends' family up in Quebec somewhere. Sherbrooke, was that what it was? Martin and his wife. I'm talking about 22 years ago. Jesus Christ. They were very nice. They hosted me, a lot of fucking snow up there. And the job I had, right, up in Westchester, my first job after graduation. And I remember there was a guy and I think his wife, well, the cleaning people, the office cleaning people, right? His name was, I remember, I even remember his fucking name, Miguel. Miguel, ¿qué pasó? Miguel, ¿qué pasó? Bien, 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 bien. Bien. I wish I could speak Spanish, right? All these fucking 24 years, I haven't learned like another language, right? And Spanish is like the fast growing population here, right? In any case, so without digressing, so Miguel was telling us, me and my colleagues, comes Christmas, and then poor guy was scrambling. He was like, I have 24, like within my own family, I have 24 people I have to gift $3,000. He was saying back in 2020, 2002. He was saying that it was easier to basically spend that much fucking money just for gifts. All right. I mean, it's nice to give gifts, right? If you can. But again, I'm not judging anyone, all right? But uh, and I'm not going to comment too much on that. I think it's not my cup of tea to say that. Oh, well, I'm not going to. My problem is that I don't usually give gifts to people because I never, I've been a lunatic for 24 whatever years, right? Uh, before I got married, before I found my wife, and then obviously, you learn from a woman because they are more in tune with these things, right? And so I'm not expecting anybody, but obviously people do give gifts, and I mean it's a nice tradition, except that if you're gonna make the whole thing just a gifting tradition, that's I don't think that's good. But in any case, who am I to fucking judge, right? But it's all good, nice, everybody's in their holiday mood, right? And and the new year comes, and then we are now way deep into winter, and then the depression starts after January 15th. And I don't want to be here. I want to get the fuck out of here for at least 4 weeks until the weather breaks, you know? So I'll disappear somewhere in the south, right? And what are you making? Hey, my God. Okay. So the tradition of giving, I think, and thanks. It's a great American tradition. And then me and my wife, we went to get some groceries, right? And I remember Thursday, I went to pick up my coffee, and then there was something else I need to pick up, right? It's your Thanksgiving Day. And we usually go to this strip mall at Bayonne, right? East of Bayonne, and there's Costco, there's Stop and Shop, and there's a bunch of other places, right? And Thursday, like literally nobody was there. And then today, right? So many fucking, it's like the Americans are back into their shopping spree. Well, that's how the economy runs, sir. I don't know. I mean, I get it, and this is the time. This is the time, like places like Costco and Macy's and these companies, they make a lot of fucking money, right? Even Amazon. You and thanks my sister, I have to say, she gave me a gift. Did I have to? I mean, shouldn't I say? Should I? I'm not supposed to say that, right? Whatever. All right. But thank you. She's the one who has been here, looked out for me. I looked out for her. But all right, let's not be emotional. All right, so uh, we did actually yesterday. My sister and my brother-in-law came, and then we did hang out. We went to play Hoboken. You know, played like indoor simulated golf, which is like lame, kind of. Sort of. Obviously, compared to like being on the turf. But then those days are gone for the next 6 months. Well, not 6 months, but next 4 months. If you're up here, forget it. No, no more golf. All right, no more golf. So go to South, spend some time there. Get some sunshine in the sunshine state of Florida. Hopefully, if you can afford, because it's also a lot of fucking money, to rent something down there. And short term, I don't think we can rent our place here. So that's the other fucking problem, right? And that was our weekend, right? Back to the grinding tomorrow, but again, I feel like I'm sort of like recharged. I was having a lot of headaches like a few days ago and yeah, even yesterday, but then I was trying to do a cooking video with baking, but I guess it didn't really turn out good. I'm going to try again next weekend and I'll upload it, right? Make some, like winter baking is good for you. I think that's what my wife is trying to do. She's trying to bake something right now. Bake a pound cake? Not baking. Ras malai. Oh, that's the Indian, the Pakistani dish, sweet dish. Sounds too sweet. Lot of sugar. Uh, we didn't have these dishes traditionally from the mountains because of our different culture, right? But what else? Is that it? Like this year is over without any resolutions, coming into fruition. Have you actually fulfilled your wishes? You have acted upon. Have I acted upon my resolutions? I didn't have any resolutions. Just live the life, man. I mean, what can I do? What resolutions are we talking about? Yeah, I think be less angry. Maybe easy on the fucking coffee, especially if you're drinking late. And be nice. Be a little kind. Be a little more grateful. I think that should be right. I say this and then I blow up the whole fucking thing, flat tire, and I'm like fucking going nuts. All right. I think we also have to give some space to our own selves, because we always like blame. I mean, I have this tendency of like blaming myself, and sometimes I feel like in the back of my lunatic mind, I feel like, oh man, you don't deserve this. You don't want, what have you done to deserve this? Like, give yourself a pat on the back sometimes, man. You are here, you're alive, you have a roof on your head. You have someone who loves you. You love her. And you have family and friends, and some people don't have that. If something has hit my windpipe, I'm so sorry. You know, deep breaths. All right. And more the merrier. The hell am I talking about? Well, you want to be comfortable in your life, and of course, if you can't do anything for yourself, you can't do anything for others, unless like you basically have given up everything. Means you don't want to just live a comfortable life, and you're like a fucking shaman or whatever. Be in a monastery or live in a monastery or whatever, right? Try to find God and the greater meaning. And what is this whole thing about? Where we are on a fucking rock. I don't want to go into that discussion because sometimes out of our, including my own, you know, this monkey mind, we still are monkeys, evolved monkeys, all right? Maybe with some Neanderthal genes, whatever the fuck it is. I mean, we are mammals, all right? That's what we are. We're biological machines. But we question ourselves. What, what is this? All right? And is the universe actually here in our own existence is any meaning other than just getting up in the morning, getting your fucking breakfast, coffee, and just working, and then next day, same thing, and then the holidays. All right, I'm gonna be with my family. All right, I'm gonna go out. And is there anything else? Do you have a greater purpose? I don't know. I don't. It just makes me more depressed because I feel like, oh, maybe there is something that I can't, I can't like, I can't get a grasp on that something. Well, why don't you just pursue some meditation? Maybe do Kundalini yoga, man. I don't know. I'm not that type of a person where, well, I'm going to sit for an hour, and do the deep breathing and whatever else they do, right, in yoga and meditation. Or praying, yes, I think praying is good. I mean, I don't really do that either. So sometimes, of course, I think all of us, when we think about our demise, for the most part, and then obviously we have to say something for others, our loved ones, that, be they happy, healthy, and, whatever, right? Just a prayer to the universe, all right? And what is my wife doing, like close to 10 o'clock, experimenting with cooking? Um, you have to take it easy. Okay, you can't be standing up. And she played the table tennis yesterday, ping pong. She was not supposed to. Okay. I'm so sorry, I'm yawning still. But life is set up parameters that you have to live with, a set of rules. You can't do this, you can't do that. Only you do this. You can't rob people, you can shoot people, you can, that's the basic, right? I have to say this again that we have to live our lives with some sort of a degree of happiness and satisfaction. That satisfaction and happiness, for a person like me who's I mean, I'm superficial. Yeah, I have some deep connection to things and, to the universe. I feel like I think we all do, right? But then I'm so much affected. That's the insecurity. And, that's the fucking insecurity sometimes I feel like the other external factors, right? And if I'm, at the age of 52, that, oh, I'm not invited to this whatever, or oh, people, don't talk to me on the text. Oh, whatever, right? Just imagine like these kids who are growing up with this, you know, like if you are a 15-year-old kid, a boy or a girl, right? 650, right? 60, right? That's the prime age of you developing your brain and you are just opening your eyes into a world. And you are basically home sitting and then you're looking at this fucking phone, right? And you have to basically get into every fucking social media. I'm not saying that you have to, but I mean, they all do. I think they have to, right? Unless you are a really grounded kid who is like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna watch something. I'm gonna watch a movie or something. I don't care about Instagram or what my friends say about me. Or I am who I am. Okay, as long as I'm not being an asshole to others, my friends and other people, and do I need their approval every second? And if they are being assholes to me, then there's a different story. Then I would have to basically just, you know, take some action, right? What action? Well, I mean, this is where I think the fine line of like, these kids are, susceptible to the whole, you know, with their presence, even on whatever chats they're on, right? Even like a text chat with you, maybe they are in a group chat, whatever, right? And then they have to face grief. I think this, okay, what am I going with this? All I'm saying is that just imagine growing up, like in our times, right? We only had like a dial phone, fucking dial phone. Like, and nobody like talked, really. Nobody called anyone and talked for hours and hours, unless you were like, you know, talking to someone and which, I mean, someone that you have having some sort of an affair, like a teenage affair, which was typically not the case in where I'm coming from, right? So do you think that we would come home after the school or, after spending time, playing whatever the fuck we were doing, right? Coming home and we were thinking about like, oh, what that friend of mine said about me. Why. No, none of that. I think that actually all protected us somehow. All right. Just imagine that, oh, you come home and then, well, first of all, I think the big problem, okay, listen, I'm not a child psychologist here, okay, but I think the big problem is that now, these kids are not even interacting in real life. Has become less and less with the advent of these gadgets, and you can basically pretty much do anything on this phone. You can talk to your friends, just chat with them, and play video games in a group setting, right, from all over the fucking world, and I mean, I don't have any kids. We don't have any kids. So I can't. I mean, I can't, but I can imagine, you know. And without babbling too much, I'm so sorry. I mean, this is not the topic. I just thought for a second that our psychology, I mean, would have been different. Obviously, I think in some ways we would be better because we do have now all the information in the whole world at the tip of our fingers, right? At our fingertips, right? At the same time, then do we need all that? Did we need all that when we were young? Yeah, we didn't have anything. I mean, newspaper, if you had to look up something, you had to go to a fucking like consult a book. We didn't even have libraries in the right? Forget the computers. Right? Let the fucking, the internet comes and then all the whole thing with the fucking addictions, right? Porn, video games, and all that, and that's even a whole different. All right, I'm so sorry. I just sounded like I think I sounded like an asshole who acts like a fucking psychologist who knows everything. I don't. I'm just saying that. All I'm saying is that I feel bad for these kids. But hey, it was not in our imagination. to a point of we couldn't fathom. I guess we could fathom from, looking at the fucking movies and, like the science fiction. Science fiction would tell us, right? Show us like these phones and some form of these phones, or you can talk with them on a fucking piece of whatever this is, right? You can even see them and you can talk with them while you are seeing them in real life. But that, I mean, then what's going to happen? Like even 20 years from now, they're talking about something is going to rise out of these fucking machines and it's going to basically just take over our fucking minds and take over. But for me, the less the complicated my life is better. All right. Even now I'm looking at these screens, and then I have a fucking phone over here. And then we're gonna go into our bedroom. We have a TV there and in our living room. So we are basically just living in a digital fucking world. Welcome to 21st century. And discovering discovering other realms and realities. Now that's all different. You know, opening of a chapter. I mean, okay, but that's okay. That's let's not talk about it. All right. Let's stick to three dimensions. All right. Let's stick to three dimension and time. Because that's what our minds, our bodies are made for. We can't have a time going in reverse. Uh, Nobody actually, and I'll just finish my podcast on this note. Right? There are people who talk about, and many of them actually written extensive like research books and this and that, but nobody actually tells you. Nobody actually has written a guidebook. A guidebook. You know how like people who do meditation and some people take psychedelics and everything. Right? Nobody has like after all these experience. I'm talking about positive experience, right? And maybe they have found dimensions, right? Nobody has come back and said, "Oh, the spiritual or whatever non-material world or realm we're talking about, here are some rules over there, okay? First of all, you have to understand that if you somehow achieved after 30 years of meditation, whatever the hell you've been doing, right? Within your mind, you have actually discovered a whole fucking other world. By the way, so there are some protocols, right? Protocol. And there are some rules, just like we have like, laws of physics here. First of all, you have to understand, oh, you were there non-physically. So what does that even fucking mean? Not physically? What do you mean? Like, am I just like an ether there? Or I mean, am I going to be thinking? I don't know. What are my thoughts going to look like? Not that we can see our thoughts, but I'm just saying, am I going to be like thinking, for example, now I'm talking, right? Oh, yeah, that's the other thing, right? Okay, so no, first the thinking, where you are, and then you could look at yourself. There's no physical fucking body. What are you then? All right. So I think that's the first thing you got to understand, right? And then where are you? Do you feel the time? Do you feel any clock? You feel like time is, you feel like you're moving forward in some like, are you in eternity? Or is it just like, what is it? All right. So I think those are rules of or some sort of a guide, like rules. Somebody would say, hey, so listen, 3 years of meditation or whatever you're doing, right? And then at 3 years and 2 months and 15 days and at this hour, oh, you're going to be experiencing this. Now you have achieved some sort of a step, right? Now you can basically, it's like a fucking video game, right? You are at level one, now you're at level two. You were, right? Oh, so what happened at level two? Can you tell me, please? All right. Yeah, here you go. This is it. List of instructions. So this is what happens, and this is what you got to do. But I'm not going to tell you everything. You got to learn. Right? So somebody actually should write something like that. I mean, if I had gotten into that, I mean, Terence McKenna somehow, I think he was trying to do that through his books and all that. But then I think he became too emotional with his, I think his wife or girlfriend, whatever. And I mean, then he died at an early age, which is really bad because of his that tumor in his fucking brain, right? That whatever blastoma, which basically kills you instantly, which is bad actually. You know, people were considering him as some sort of a messiah because he was talking about all these things and he was so eloquent that I mean, basically, he was saying the same thing. He was trying to basically figure out what that whole like other reality was where he got into. And I think he was trying to put that in the book and in his speeches and everything. Somehow, what happened. And so again, all right, everyone. So that this is just thought for discussion. Right? I guess some people don't want to even like disclose. Maybe they have just gone too far, man, too far away from this like reality that they can't even recognize this reality. Now they are in the other dimension. They don't want to bother this fucking world anymore. All right. But if I had, I mean, if I had pursued something like that, I would have come up with some sort of a fucking, you know, instructions manual. Yet I have no experience. I have no experience of meditation or, having some sort of a connection with the universe on a greater scale. I mean, I've taken psychedelics, but it wasn't enough, and maybe I was too afraid to open up my brain and my mind and just take that all in, or maybe I didn't do it properly, or whatever it is, right? And that's it. So that's all right. And I assume it's at 10 o'clock Sunday night, and tomorrow is a work day, man. You would think that the Thanksgiving would just go on and on. Well, you got the other holiday coming up, so that's like a whole week, all right? So not whole week, but I think there's another like 4-day weekend coming up, all right? So there you go. Be happy. There's the positive note I'm going to leave you all with, and I will see you all next week.